Hey there. I am excited to share with you Grimm Brothers Brewhouse Black Lager Midnight Strikes. Has a great picture of Cinderella and reminds us all that life is not a fairy tale. Don't be losing your shoes. This is a seasonal release of Fabled Fermentation, and it is out of Loveland, Colorado. I'm not seeing the alcohol content on here, and I can't tell because there's like a lot of stuff going on in this can, or what's the stitch here? Keep it cold, just drink it, alcohol doesn't matter, I guess, is what they're trying to say here. Fine. Some amount of alcohol. Who knows? Alright. So black lagers are fun. I'm going to let you watch that while I see if I can find the alcohol content so we can see the head that it pours. It looks like it poured a good head, and I specifically poured it so it would do so. Grimm Brothers. I don't want to read it from Beer Advocate. Okay, great. My internet is really slowed down right now because I have 2 videos uploading. So 5% alcohol by volume, 31 IBUs. And it says black lager on the can, but it says on their website that it's a Schwartzbier, which is a dark hef, I'm pretty sure. Now I'm confused. What happens? Great dark lager, easy drinking, love it. What happens when beer names don't match? Tanya gets confused. So, okay, yeah, so just a dark lager. Alright, fine. What was I thinking? Black lager? Maybe that's what I was thinking, black lager. I think I've seen a couple of those recently. But anyway, don't rely on my memory. So it's a Schwartzbier. I'm glad that I looked on their website because I probably would have been confused looking up this style. And if I was confused in the past on a previous one, then my apologies for that. A dark lager, which is great. So let's jump on over here. Okay. So I let the head die down a little bit before smelling because I feel like I get more aroma, more intense aroma out of a glass of beer when there's not a lot of bubbles. Even though I oftentimes want to see what it looks like. So I get what I describe as a distinctly lagery kind of smell, but only lightly. It also smells a lot like a Doppelbock, like that kind of, I laugh because I say this every time, kind of fruity, not grapefruit, please, grape juice flavor from the grape juice that they gave me at the Jewish Community Center as a child. So, I think I've said that a million times. So anyway, so it's a great like fruity, grapey kind of like wine kind of a smell, and I feel like everybody who has smelled this is not going to agree. So just get one and smell it. Clean and neutral, kind of bready. Maybe coffee-like, but really not. I mean, it's really fruitier than that to me. And that, I think, it's just because I have an association with that smell. I would probably, if I could erase that memory of Friday grape juice, describe this better. Anyway, nicely malty. Alright, so color-wise, appearance-wise, it did pour with a nice head, which is dissipated. It's a pretty dark color. I have the light behind it here, and I still can't really see through it, except for at the very bottom where it gets more thin in the glass. and it's pretty dark, and it looks like it's oh yeah, and so it says garnet highlights might be a thing, but anyway, so I mean it lets a little bit of light through. It could be described as red, I suppose, but let's taste this. I find this style very interesting because it has some of the very distinct characteristics of a lager, but some other qualities about it that make it really interesting and enjoyable to me. You know, I prefer maltier beers, and brown ales, amber ales, double IPAs, because I feel like the doubles have good flavor in them, interesting flavor in them, more balance between hops and malt. And I feel like this is malty and interesting, you know, and like I said, kind of reminiscent of a Doppelbock to me, or of a dark Hefeweizen, which, what is the name of that style of beer? Am I making these things up? I don't think so. Could be. I don't even know. Dark Hef. Maybe I made that up. Now I think I'm going crazy. Dunkel. Ugh. Wow, I am going crazy. Okay, so I was thinking of a Dunkel even. So fine. Dark Dunkel. Okay. Anyways, but it gives like that kind of roastiness and maltiness and complexity. You can taste the grain in it, as opposed to lager, I think, is very distinctly a yeast flavor. Sometimes corn adjunct when brewed in the U.S., but I don't know if that's true brewed elsewhere. I guess I should figure that out. So very nicely done, I feel like. Actually, I'm going to go back into the style because I want to hear more about it, because I like histories of styles that I don't review very often. It has like an earthy flavor, you know, a nice bitter, juicy bitter finish. Juicy, I mean, it's like drooly juicy finish. You know, and this maltiness, it kind of is reminiscent of rye. Really good. Really good style. I like this style a lot. I feel like this is another good gateway for people who are pretty, you know, I don't traditionally just, you know, American lager beer drinkers. This is another kind of good gateway beer into the craft brew market, I feel like, because it has some of the familiar flavors to it, but then kind of adds on that by offering some other stuff. Yeah, good beer. Anyway, so I like it, and I like that it's, you know, on the lighter side, even though it's a darker beer, and that's also nice. So nice as far as refreshing is going, if you're looking for something with the depth of malt. But that's, you know, a good, I don't know, direct sunlight beer. I don't, you know, anyway. Schwartzbier literally means black beer in German. While sometimes called a black pils, the beer is rarely as dark as black or as bitter as pils. Don't expect strongly roasted or porter-like flavors. And so I think that's a really good comment, in that it really is light, and it has that lightness of lager, and that's important to this particular style. So, and I can't read, unfortunately, very well without my glasses. So the history is a regional specialty from Thuringia, Saxony. Thuringia. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And Franconia in Germany. History is a bit sketchy, but this is suspected of being originally a top fermented beer. Popularity grew after German reunification, served as inspiration for black lagers brewed in Japan. So that's pretty cool. It looks like it is not, it doesn't have adjunct in it necessarily. It's a German Munich malt and or Pilsner malt for the base, supplemented with roasted malts such as Carafa, and for the dark color and subtle roasty flavors. Huskless dark roasted malts can add roast flavors without burnt flavors. And I really feel like that's the distinction. Like, we don't get into that kind of acrid, burnt coffee quality. So German hop varieties and clean German lager yeasts are traditional. There's a lot of great beers in this style, and I think that Brothers Grimm did a good job. I like that they did what they call it, a fabled fermentation series, because when I showed somebody this beer over the weekend, they're like, oh look, Brothers Grimm and Cinderella, that's cool. And on the website, it talks about Cinderella's original name, which I'm assuming is from the Grimm version of the fairy tales. Aschenputtel, and please excuse my poor German pronunciation. It's terribly American of me. And it says basically the same thing about this beer that the BJCP style guidelines did about it. So it says Midnight Strikes keeps with German tradition and is balanced throughout, combining subtle, smooth roast malt flavors and hints of caramel. Don't let looks deceive. This flavorful beer is easy to drink and may just win your heart. So it has those malty, roasty flavors in it, but it's not overwhelming and it's still definitely a lager style, like I said. So great beer. I think it's terribly enjoyable. Like I said, I like the can art on it, cover art, label art, whatever this is. I'm glad that I came across it. I cannot remember, even though I'm sure I said it earlier, where this comes from. Oh yeah, Loveland, Colorado. So that's pretty cool. So thank you, Colorado. Great beer. That's it. So share with me if this is something that you have tried. I would love to hear your opinion about it and where you were able to find it. For those of us for those who follow us, want to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night.